They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
Like legit Ozempic, like.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know how
They
it
do.
works. I just know that meaning like, I don't know how you can get on it, how easily or whatever, but I know that like weight loss stuff is one of their categories that they
Yeah,
offer.
No,
I've
you
looked
can,
into
you
it.
can get on it, or like Wego be pretty easy, Corey. I'm gonna be honest. I keep waiting on you to do it.
I mean, I've lost like 15 pounds in the past 2 weeks, but I did it the old school way, and that don't hit.
Well, you realize the way that works is it makes it easier to do it the old school way.
Yeah, because you don't want to eat as much.
Right, but like,
Yeah.
so there's no hits, and when you do eat, I think it's like not great.
Honestly, I need that. Like, I
Right.
need something to make eating not hit as hard, because like if I can't, that's it. That's why I be fat, because like foods, this is where the hits is.
Seasons.
It be 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It'd be 2 seasons.
It be 2 seasons. It really do.
It really, really do.
I mean,
It's
goddamn, son.
It'd be funny if you got on that stuff and you didn't lose any weight, and you were still. But shit, yeah, it is harder to eat it all now, but shit, just be
But I
2
do it.
seasons.
Nevertheless, he persists.
It was a
That's
10, now it's an 8.
That's what Tracy Morgan did. I assume we're going, right? We're going to keep this in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy Morgan, he got on Ozempic and gained like 20 pounds. And he said his statement on that was, I out-ate the Ozempic. So
You can't keep a good man down.
No.
He's an Ozempian.
Stuff just hit too hard. The last time what did y'all do last week? I was in Salina. Did you?
That's through it. I threw the dinosaur argument up.
Good choice. Yeah.
And it was fun, because there was a lot of people who were like, very they were like, oh man, if you're going to throw a repeat up, this is the best one. But then there was a lot of people that like, damn, I didn't start listening to the podcast till like 2 years ago, and I didn't even know this existed. And they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah. By the way, apparently we can stop doing the podcast now. Like Mark Maron just quit, and I was not aware you could do that. So.
Well, he quit one that hits, I know. That's even
the thing.
crazier.
We can't quit ours until we know there will be an article written about it if we do. That's my thing.
Right.
Yeah. He's not quitting until the fall, right? Like he announced the end, but he hasn't quit yet. He's like turned in his 3-month notice.
He's talked before, because I still listen to that show periodically when it's got a hidden guest on there, and he's talked before about like, maybe thinking that he might be about done.
Yeah. Well, he's been
which I respect,
a lot more.
dude. He's 60 something. He's been in the game for a long time. He's made a shitload of money. If he just
he's been active.
If he just like retires, like good for him. That's what people are supposed to do. But in entertainment, people don't ever do that. But I don't know that he's gonna do that. I'm just saying, on the show, he's been hinting for a while at like just hanging it all up, like stand up too, saying he's not sure if he has anything left to say.
He's had a ton of like, not that he hasn't always, but the past couple of years he's had like more actors consistently on the show than he ever has, and like he usually always talks to them, like they talk shop about acting, and Maron talks about how he's really gotten into it, and he really and I think he's good. Everything he's in, I think he's good. I kind of hope that's what it is, that he's like really going to start taking his acting career more seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could be that. The last time I was on here, so 2 weeks ago, I told you I was going to the allergist later, because we were talking about me being allergic to, and as I always said, half jokingly, as far as I can tell, I'm allergic to just being awake, being alive, reality, the air that we all breathe. That's what I think I'm allergic to. Everybody, and I was going to this allergist finally, and Katie would say things like, can't wait to see what you're allergic to or whatever. And or if you're allergic to anything. And I was like, Katie, I know that I'm allergic to something. My fucking nose runs all the time. I have sneezing fits. Like, it's not just nothing, So I went to the allergist and I got the little pin prick things that they do. And turns out I am allergic to literally nothing. But
I knew it. I saw it coming a mile away.
But here's the thing, though. The diagnosis that he gave me, what he thinks it is, it's some big some big, long, very medical sounding name that I've already forgotten. But what it means is the lining of your sinuses, the nerves and the lining of your sinuses are more sensitive and susceptible to everyday irritants, right? That we all breathe every
Fucking
day.
nose is gay.
We all breathe every day, and the vast majority of people are not affected by because we're like
So
adapted
it's
to it.
literally life.
So
It's
it
not
literally
treating
is.
and
Thank you.
graft and
Yes, well, that's where
pats.
I was
It's
going with
being
that.
alive.
That's where I was going with that. So I was going to say,
Sorry.
technically, I'm allergic to nothing, but I think you could easily argue that, in effect, I am literally allergic to everything, to being awake, to reality, all that stuff I was
He's like,
jokingly said. I am literally allergic to it all. So
he's like, look, you passed all our tests, but we don't really test for being a huge pussy in the nose.
Yeah.
And I
What if you're
think
just
you're a
good at
huge
tests?
pussy in the nose.
yeah, my nose just don't hit.
Your nose has a
Shocker.
labia.
Yeah, but he, having said that, he did give me nose spray for nose not hit itis, which I
Does
have.
that burn?
No, it works. Here's
Did you break out?
it's still coming. This is still gonna be Raven. I'm assuming at the end of the day when it's all said and done, because it works, but I've only been on it for like a week, and it's like I'm already building a tolerance to it.
Yeah. You
Like,
can get addicted to that shit too.
already, like only a week in. So that doesn't bode well. Like when I first got it and I sprayed it up there, I was like, oh my God, this shit works like a fucking charm, and it does. But I'm, needing more and more
And then
of
your
it. So
jeans were like, not on our watch, buddy.
yeah. And also, I don't know if I even said this or not, but the main reason I even went to that allergist is because to see if it was affecting my sleep. Like my sleep doctor referred me to the allergist because, I got put on
The
a
sleep doctor who determined that nothing could be done about you.
Well, no, I mean, that's why he sent me here was like,
Yeah.
let's see if this is it.
Yeah.
And if this ain't it, then nothing can be done for you. Right. So what I'm saying is I've gone and done this and I've gotten this nose spray that does work. It does treat my symptoms. So I feel like that's effectively treated and has been for more than a week. And it has made zero difference on the
All right.
sleep problems and
Will you
level
do
of
one thing? I know you won't,
fatigue.
but will you do one thing? Would you try
What?
one thing? Because it
What?
worked for my wife. Mouth tape.
Yeah, no, I've actually been meaning to get the mouth tape. I really have.
You just use duct tape.
I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I'm just literally gonna order it right now.
Because
I
yeah,
just had
no,
an image.
That was one of those where I was like, I saw somebody do it. Well, like, I don't know,
It
I was
looks so
camping or
dumb.
something. And I
I
was
mean,
like,
already wearing the
what
Bane
Dude
mask.
looks like
It
he's
can't.
kidnapping himself.
It can't look much dumber. I've already got the big machine hooked up to my face. I've got like a sleep mask on. I look insane.
But I mean,
already,
it looked like it wasn't going to work. It looked like the most mamaw shit, but like not the good mamaw, the other one, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
taped the baby's mouth shut. Like it just looked awful. But the first thing I noticed, Andy has halitosis she will make your eyes water in the morning. That shit went away night one, dog. Night one. Next thing I know, though, Andy used to sleep if you didn't set an alarm. She would sleep till 1 like a teenager.
Yeah, me too.
And she was like, I don't know, I toss and turn, blah, blah. After like 3 days, that went away. She did say it was hard to get used to for a minute.
Yeah, I would feel very claustrophobic-ish. I feel maybe that's not the right word, but that would fuck with me, I think. But yeah, with that, I too, when my sinuses get real bad, my breath will be just so horrible because like apparently
because your mouth breathing all night.
Exactly, for sure. Because I found this out later. It's like the thing in gum that makes your breath hit the most is not necessarily the mint in it. It's that you're lubricating your mouth and you're keeping the saliva going instead of it being stagnant. And I was like, well, that makes sense because I'm just drying my fucking mouth out.
One other thing that can be related to all that. Have you ever heard any doctors talk about your tongue setting tray, like where it's play? I don't know if that makes any. I don't know if I'm saying it correct.
It like falls back in
like
the back of your mouth and it blocks your mouth. Your tongue does. Yeah.
Like a bulldog?
Yeah. So
No,
did the doc look into that?
Yeah,
Like,
I
is
mean, I
that
think
where you've heard of it from one of those
yeah,
doctors?
yeah. Well, I think that's like part of just what sleep apnea is that
Oh, okay,
that
okay, okay, okay.
happens. And I have
Okay, never
sleep
mind.
apnea. I don't remember if I told y'all this or not. Like, I do have sleep apnea, but he said I have the mildest form of sleep apnea
Yeah.
you can have. Yet I have some of the most severe symptoms of it,
Yeah.
which he
Me,
did
you,
say is
and Key talked
possible.
about it.
He was like some people. He's like, yeah, people can have severe, like it might kill them any night level sleep apnea and have no daytime symptoms of it. He's like, whereas you barely have sleep apnea
You
at
must
all,
live.
but
You might
You're
you're
live
gonna live a
forever in
long time.
pain.
you are
miserable.
just wrecked by it and just
I just had
abject
a-
You've been
misery
cursed by
every day.
God to a
But
lengthy, horrible existence.
yes,
I
but
just
like, don't worry about it. We can treat that with a machine. And I came back a month later and he's like, the machine is working great. You still don't hit somehow. Like sometimes it just doesn't matter.
I just had a vision of
He is
Trey
going to
trying
put
to
me on
shoot himself,
speed though.
and the
so,
bullet bounce off his head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, like he just can't.
Yeah.
He
Wait,
can't
why is he
escape
putting
it.
you
Spit
on
it out
speed?
like the Hulk.
You mean like ADD?
No, I don't know what, just a stimulant. So I see no way that can go off the rails.
Huh. Hey,
What
I'm
else
not
is he supposed
sleeping
to
good,
do?
Doc. All right, here's an upper.
No. No. Hey,
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, you should have just went to one of your boys. You're telling me that after all this,
Yeah.
the doctor's just be like, all right, dude, how about Coke?
You want
yeah.
to?
Well, he don't know what else to do. He's like an
I'll
1800s
take it
doctor.
too. This doctor rules, man.
God. Yeah, that
Does he
meth will
write
do
comedy?
it.
Let's hang out with your doctor.
Yeah, that meth.
This will be literally the first doctor I've ever had in my life who might give me something that hits. But I bet
Nah.
that whatever this thing is he prescribes me, I bet it don't hit. But we'll see.
No.
It's time released. If you want it to hit, you're gonna have to crack it open and shit,
Yeah.
mush it up. That's
Yeah,
Snort
like
it.
it'll
pull
3
the
or 4 of them at
beads
a
down
time.
your
I hope he
throat.
doesn't somehow hear this episode of this podcast. Might
it'll yeah, it'll be one of them that like
Once he finally looks you up, God, that'd be so funny.
yeah.
because that's the thing about doing Adderall. It's like, yeah, obviously the main reason you want it is because you need to stay up so you can work on stuff, but you still want that little meth buzz. You know what I mean? Like you still want that little.
Yeah,
that
I
little,
don't. I mean, I don't think it's going to be Adderall. I think maybe there's
Oh,
stuff
it's-
called like modafinil or whatever,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like, as I
Game of Thrones princess.
yeah, as I understand it, it's like you know, it ain't like Adderall.
It's
It
that
don't.
chick who could fill a pea in the bed. Yeah.
It don't hit like Adderall. It's like
Yeah.
it just keeps you awake. I
like
think.
the things that hit. Is what I like.
Listen,
Me too. But see,
We
the
have
things
to
that hit, they
pause
get you
for a
in
second.
trouble.
Yeah.
shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. I want to just go back that Corey, his baseline was, now Adderall's for staying up so you can work on stuff.
Right.
That was
Which
his
it's not.
baseline. Like he's like, listen, we all know that you abuse Adderall when you've been on a hard run and you need to get something turned in. There's no,
Of course.
there's no like, we all know, not like
Well,
ADHD. Anyway,
we
that
do.
really did it for me. This is like the time he said on stage without realizing why it was funny. The best way to be sober is to do mushrooms. That's what I've found.
Couldn't agree more. Actually, I have a new one, Sincerely, and I'm blown away. And I'm not even going to show the brand because we're not sponsored by them, but the best way to stay sober is by drinking fucking non-alcoholic beers is the way to go, dude. I'm loving these
Yeah, that and
motherfuckers.
Topo Chico works, man.
Bro, like, I'm telling you, I was like, well, this will be a phase, but like, it was like a couple weeks ago, I was just like, man, I really want a beer, but I ain't trying to get drunk. And I was like, I'll have a non-alcoholic beer. And I've just been having like 2 a day. Like, that's it. But it's like, turns out I just like drinking beer and, getting drunk, a hidden consequence of that, sure. But like, I still like it.
Yeah,
How many
you got any
hits?
bits about it? I've been doing a bit about it.
No, I haven't. No, I don't have any
because
bits
this
about it.
guy I got one at a bar and this guy goes, non-alcoholic, you like that better? So the bit is like, no, literally the opposite, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, no, I like them too much.
Corey, how
Oh,
many
man.
calories are in those non-alcoholic? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I only have 2. Like,
So-
there's no reason for me to drink 7.
Guinness is the best big brand.
I like Coors
You can
Edge.
find Guinness Zero, it rules. Now, I gotta say, I don't fuck with the IPAs. Athletics, pretty good with a lager.
I had one last night at dinner, and unfortunately, the one they brought me was the IPA, and it straight up just tasted like weed.
Yeah, it's gross.
but it was still better than having to walk because we were out. We had anniversary dinner. We were outside. The weather was good. It was on a golf course. I was like, I can't drink a fucking water. Like, bring me a goddamn beer. You know.
I get these ads all the time for these sparkling mushroom drinks, but they're
I
not.
see them.
They're not like psychedelics. It's like reishi or whatever. And I would
It's like
never
the
buy that
CBD
for my
version.
house. Yeah, I would never buy that for my house. But if I saw that while out, I would do that. Another thing is non-hard kombucha does it for me.
Because it's fermented. It kind of got that
yeah.
stank to it.
So they have to take it out, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe we're just getting a little drunk when we drink kombucha.
I do think most of these things are like 0.05, which is wild that alcoholics. You ever think that's strange? Like I got a friend who's like apparently a bad alcoholic. She's been sober a decade. She's a bartender though, and she'll try the drink.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm not going to deny that if it works for her, it works. But like, I feel like that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Wait, what?
She's an
Tried the
alcoholic,
drink?
but she like be trying to drink.
I've done the road with Fitzsimmons. He doesn't drink, hasn't in years. He has that German non-alcoholic. That one's fire. If you can get it, I can't remember what it's called. It's got a white label, and it's unbelievable.
Wait,
I looked at it. It's like 0.5% alcohol. He has like 3 of them. I'm like, damn, I'm not trying to shit on him. It's working for him. I'm saying like that kind of blows my mind.
You're right.
but that you can't even feel that, right?
Yeah, but see, that would be the point. Is I feel like you would convince yourself you feel it a little bit. You're like, well, if I have 5, like just because, dude. I remember one time Isbel like he didn't have like a meltdown or nothing, but like he had one time he accidentally swallowed some mouthwash or something.
Yeah,
and like he sort of had an existential crisis over like whether he did it on purpose or not, and he like couldn't decide. You know what I mean? And like he had to go to a meeting or whatever.
But dude, I swear I remember it. He accidentally did, and then looked at it and drank the rest.
Okay, maybe that's right. But either way, I'm just saying like for real bad alcoholics, like anything with alcohol in it is.
So what did you say about you? You said you have real bad alcoholic friend who's a bartender.
Yeah.
That's wild. And also, you said she tries the drink. What do you mean she tries the drinks?
Like, I've seen her mix drinks, and it's like a lot of bartenders will be like, okay, that's right. They put the spoon in it and they
put
it on their tongue.
Right. Well, I ain't think you could do that sort of thing.
I didn't either.
That's a strong person.
Like, lots of people do it.
Yeah.
Fitzsimmons does it.
Maybe they're not as bad alcoholics as they thought they were, because I feel like I would immediately just start fucking eating that drink like cereal with that spoon.
In y'all's hometowns, do you guys have barking spiders?
Describe it.
I thought that was a fart.
It is. Thank you, Drew.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Dude,
so
I thought
Corey,
it would blow my mind. I was like, that's a real.
I thought you were talking about a drink at first, and then I was like, wait, no, he means spiders.
So Corey, you'd never heard barking spiders?
This sounds familiar to me, but not enough to be like, oh yeah.
We were coming back from a school function, walking back to our car recently, and I farted real loud, and Katie was like, Trey, whatever, and I was like, what? She was like, I heard that, and I was like, what? That barking spider, right? I was like, just a barking spider, and she started laughing, but she was like, she said she'd never heard that before, and I was like, what? You never heard that before?
I may have.
And then I was wanting to ask y'all because I thought I was talking to Thompson about it, and he remembered. And I thought for a minute it might be like elt or something, like it was much more localized than I realized it was. But Drew's, Morgan County's, we're both up here in I'm not there now, but Clay County and Morgan County are not far apart as the crow flies. So it still could be. They didn't have barking spiders in Wayne County, and apparently also not in Chickamauga. So I'm still.
Well, did her family even fart?
Huh?
Did her family fart?
No, not really. But boys at school farted.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, you fart. Your family farts, and you don't.
We fart.
You don't know. You don't know barking spiders.
I know. Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like,
boys at school. Hold on, though. Let me say that I think I've only really ever heard my parents' generation say it, and like every once in a while.
Really?
Never
when I was in high
fart.
school, all the redneck old boys all the time, like, you're at barking spider, after they'd fart real loud.
Yeah, we would never blame our farts on something else. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
barking spider.
It was understood that you had also farted.
Yeah.
Which is just
Yeah.
a funny thing to say. But no, I never heard old people say it. I
Well, Corey
exclusively
thinks there's
heard.
guys who think they're getting away with it. Corey's
Yeah,
like,
right.
Man,
No,
your
they
rednecks are
don't.
dumb, dude. They
Yeah.
think people believe that.
Oh man.
Well,
Farting.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I'm the real stupid one because I thought that's what you were about to tell me, Trey. I was like, wait a minute. That's not just farting. That's really like a thing.
Well, I didn't want to. In the event that you guys didn't have that saying,
Fart.
I didn't want to give it away, so I wanted to, make it sound like I was asking about an actual animal. But you thankfully had heard the idiom before, which I think is very funny. Actually imagine.
Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna start using it.
Well, imagine an actual spider that barks and it sounds like a fart. It would be very funny.
Oh. Oh yeah. Where do you?
Well,
Never been quite clean slated like that
Mhm.
on this program.
Yeah. I said something in my video yesterday. You tell me, I know there's been like versions of this for sure, but did I just straight up steal this like verbatim? I said, a man would be better off running ass first through a field of wiener weeds. Is that a thing?
I love it. I love it. I mean, I'd like to think you stole it from me, but I never actually said it. I would like to think that you just crawled into my brain and it was up there somewhere because that's fucking great.
Well, good.
Ass first into
Run ass first through a field of wiener weeds.
Did y'all see that thing I sent earlier about it was Arnold Schwarzenegger and his son talking?
Yes. Then I saw the weenie.
He said, I saw your butt and then I seen the weenie. That's so fucking.
I wonder if there was like a cut part where he goes, and then your brother jack you off.
Yeah, right. I was about to say.
People who haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I heard that that there's brothers jacking each other off. I'm still kind of interested to see how the hell that comes about. We just watched the first episode finally, like last night. No, the night before. But
there's some brothers jacking each other off, but in like a well, I won't spoil it, but it was tasteful.
Okay.
As that goes.
All right.
It was brotherly.
Yeah, it was pretty brotherly. Also, I did not know that was Schwarzenegger's son until very recently. I did not.
Yeah. Did you watch Gen V?
Yeah, he was the main. He's the
Golden
fucking
Boy.
Golden Boy. Yeah, I still did. I didn't even know.
I didn't know when I watched that was Schwarzenegger, but through watching that and then reading like the Reddit threads about it and stuff, that I found out then that he was Schwarzenegger's son.
Gen V hit for you?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it.
The whole the boys itself and Gen V, that whole world is like, I love that shit.
Yeah, no matter how much.
Of course, I'm a big woke liberal queer, and it's woke propaganda, so of course it hits for me.
Of course, yeah,
I do. I love it. Too. I've rewatched both of those probably 2 or 3 times. I think.
I got a friend who loves Gen V. But thinks the boys is disgusting. And
that makes no sense.
Makes zero. I know. That's what I tell her. I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
Like, Gen V was just as fucking gory and insane. I guess, maybe they had just seen the boys episode where the dude runs through a dick hole
and
blows
it up.
Which that was my favorite scene in the show.
Yeah, but the opposite of that happens in Gen V. That one girl makes herself tiny and jumps on a dick and rides it back and forth like a palm tree blowing in the wind or something.
That's true.
Remember that?
Yeah, that
I don't know if it's.
What's her name? Little Chipper. What's her name? The fucking Little Cricket.
I can't remember.
Little Cricket.
Little
she
Cricket for me.
Yeah, she made herself cricket-sized and rode a guy's wiener.
Did she sell Percocets? I think I grew up with Little Cricket.
Little Cricket.
Yeah. P. Rich.
Dude. Man, let me tell y'all how old I feel, okay?
All right, before you do, let me just go back on the other thing one real quick, Corey. This person you're talking about, have you considered, because this is something that keeps coming up with me since I'm living back here, that person's really stupid?
Well, it's Rebel from AEW, and yes, I've told her to her face that sometimes she can be stupid. A lot. But yeah, my only theory was I was like, well, Rebel's a very positive, hopeful person, and at least the kids in Gen V had a future ahead of them, whereas in the boys, they're all broken old heroes that are just completely...
Well, there's definitely a lot of people like that. There's definitely a lot of people who, if the characters seem like they're too cynical, they're out.
Yeah.
My mom's a
Yeah.
little bit like
But
that.
that's
Like if the
the
character
hitting of
seems too
stuff.
cynical, she's
Oh,
out. But like
couldn't be
if the
more
character
in.
seems hopeful, but it's a gnarly, crazy show, she'd be like, it's kind of sweet.
I can't stand Hope. Most of the time,
Not
Hope
Yeah,
don't
for
hit for
dumb.
me.
me.
Now I'm a big, that's why Game of Thrones hit for me. It was all so futile, so many things in it.
Drew, speaking of brothers,
What
I
were you
know
gonna say, Corey? I interrupted
Oh,
you.
I was talking to my mom yesterday, and I'm not going to name the business because I ain't trying to put nobody out on Front Street, especially because it's allegations. But around my area, there had been this business that had closed, right? And it was like, oh, what a bummer. And I've just recently found out from my mom that they didn't get their lease renewed or whatever because somebody found out that they was running drugs out the back of it. You know what I mean? And like my mom is telling me this shit, and I ain't heard nothing about it. And like back in the day, man, there was no illegal drug operation in my county that I didn't fucking know about.
Okay.
And was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just felt, I was like, God damn, man, I had a kid and now like nobody tells me where the pills is. I mean, like I'm glad I don't want to do them, but like I just felt so disconnected from my culture. You know what I mean? And my mom knew about it.
You said how old I feel. I don't think it's an age thing. Like, you know what I mean? There's some
Yeah.
50-year-old toothless pillbillies still very plugged in.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting
I
too
think
mature.
they are not telling you because you have a kid. I think that is accurate. I think that there are people in your life who are like, yeah, don't tell Corey.
I wouldn't rat or nothing. I mean, I might not take them, but like, I just like to know what's happening. You know what I mean?
I think you might take them.
I do look like a narc now, I guess.
It's not that. They're trying to protect you. Why are you not understanding that? You're taking it personally, and these people are just trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, that's what these guys are known for.
Yeah,
They've
keeping
gotten
people
older
safe.
too, man.
That's true.
Speaking of taking stuff that hits, let's talk about Hims. What do you think? And if ED's been getting you down and you want to be up, talking about your wiener getting up, staying there, you know what I mean? Well, if you feel that way, you need Hims to help you get your confidence and other things all the way back up, baby. Hims provides access to treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable tablets, Viagra, and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% less. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just fill out an intake form on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/wellred. That's HIMS.com/wellred. That's well, RED, as you know, for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/wellred. Featured products include compounded products which are not approved nor verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Thank you, Hims, for sponsoring the podcast. All right. And we're back. Drew, if you don't want to... I don't mean this as a weird question. I'm genuinely curious. So if you don't want to talk about it, then just tell me and we can just move on. But like, speaking of brothers, I know you ain't jacking him off or nothing, but your brother's back around, right? And like,
Yeah.
how's that going? How long did he end up being in for? And how's he like adjusting,
Pert near 13 years.
It's a long time.
Oh man, let me think about what I do want to talk about and don't. It's like, look, compared to what? And I'm not saying it's an unfair question. It's like, how's it going? Well, it's fucking hard and it sucks. But I'm also like, when I talk to people who have any sort of familiarity with this type of thing, there's like a lot of positives. Do you know what I mean? The most recent one that I don't mind talking about that was kind of wild. I mean, look, he's institutionalized.
Right.
And some of that stuff is like kind of funny. Some of it's annoying.
Like
some
the
of
whole
it's
getting permission to pee, like in fucking Shawshank.
well, he doesn't
Shawshank.
do that, but it's like kind of funny how like he whispers a lot if there's other people around. And then that like bothers people, but it's like he's being polite because, where he was, you were supposed to whisper because there were no fucking walls when you're out on the yard. And then there's like stuff that's annoying, and then there's stuff that's god awful. One that I don't think he'd mind me talking about, I don't really care about that, but one that I don't mind talking about, I guess, is so he's got tattoos that are not great.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And he's
That was the best way I've ever heard anybody put that.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm assuming you don't mean quality wise. They're not like, well, that
no,
too, probably.
I don't mean they're shitty.
Yeah.
They're shitty and they're shitty.
Yeah. Right.
And he's talking to me about it. And the way it came up was this other dude who had been in and got out before him from our town came up to him and was like, "What's up, brother? You got to go to a meeting with me." And my brother's like, "Can you believe he still wants to do that shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah. Yes. Some people, do you think no one believes in that stuff? Like, what are we talking about, And he's like, "Well, I can see if you get out and you screw up your parole getting high, because at least that's fun. How you going to screw up your parole going to a damn meeting like that?" And I was like, "Because he liked it. He's proud of that.
They love
It's
it.
right there in the tattoo. He's proud."
He's so proud. Boy, is he proud.
So, but that was like an interesting conversation. That was a hard thing for me too, because we're talking about it and he's talking about getting some covered and like which ones, and because he has various things he's got in there. And I'm talking to Andy about it later, and I'm like, man, I can live with he did that. I don't like it. And people say, "Oh, you got no choice." That's not true.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. Like, isn't it like a life or death?
You have no choice if you want to be involved. Like, you have no choice if you don't want to just lay low. Like, you have no choice if you're interested in being a part of whatever, whether it's getting high, getting a bunch of cigarettes, making money, having access to cell phones and shit like that. Like, in other words, if you want to follow the rules and just keep your head down and go to the library, no. Like, it's a myth that you have to do that no one will fuck with you. But if you're running game and then you rip off the vice lords, they're going to kill you if you're not protected. Yes.
Right.
But you didn't have to run game and rip off the vice lords.
Right.
So I don't let it go, but I can wrap my head around it. But what I was struggling with, he was like, "Well, I thought about keeping the pride one." He goes, I believe in white pride. I believe in black pride. I believe in Mexican pride. And I was like, "You see how you didn't say brown pride? You see how but then I'm like, what argument am I going to have with this person? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're still trying to teach him how to use an ATM card.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or not an ATM card. I'm sorry. Online, paying for stuff online. So it's
I was about to say, it's like, hell, y'all didn't have ATMs in 2012.
Poor thing. So it's very, so genuinely, super strongly, there may be a time where I have to be like, "Look, dude, you do whatever you want, but I'm not going to have that around my kid and me not call it out." Like, as a dad, I can't just let my son think I'm cool with that. I'm not. But then on the other hand, I'm like, when do we have that? It's very strange. And there are sadder versions of that stuff that occur. And that's really hard. Sadder meaning like he's still institutionalized. So his whole thing is like, I got to get these damn tattoos covered up, because what if I'm out with my family and someone sees it and says something to me, and then I lose my mind and, end up hurting. And I'm like, "Nah, bitch, you got to get them covered up, because that's crazy. You can't have that."
Right.
If you're like having this wild scenario about no, you can't have that on your body because it's gross.
Right.
So that's strange. There are even sadder versions of that, just in terms of like him relating to his children and stuff like that. So that's really hard. But then there's also like good stuff. Like, he doesn't know how to text, so he either sends me one-word answers or long paragraphs. And he's funny. I don't remember him being funny. I guess he was always high. I don't remember my brother ever making me laugh. He makes me laugh all the time now. So it's, I guess
Around
it's
a lot
yin
of
and
black
yang.
dudes in prison.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I guess it's yin and yang, which is probably one of the ones we're gonna get to cover it up. It's not awful, and that's good. He's struggling as anyone would, and that's difficult. And then there's like resentment and pain, and then there's empathy, and it's going okay.
Where's he
And
staying
again,
at?
Mom's gonna kill him.
Is he staying with them?
He's staying with his son Jake next door, and initially that was not the plan at all. But then his kids got very vocal about, like, there was a plan of him going to, my parents have a cabin in Kentucky. His kids got very vocal about, like, so you get out and you leave us again. And so that was kind of relented upon, but I think my mom's gonna like shoot him just because it's like he's there
That'd
all
be
the
wild.
time, man, just kind of hanging out.
Maybe instead of getting it covered up, he could just get another word beside it, and people be like, he just likes Reggie White. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a big fan.
Yeah, man, Reggie
you
White
know?
Pride.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yep.
that's fine.
And Reggie White Pride really liked Windows, I guess. Reggie White Pride. Reggie's looking out the window.
God damn.
I mean, would you be? I know you said this isn't how it works, and I know, so I'm just kidding around right now. But like, just a hypothetical. Would you join Nazis to keep your butt unfucked? Joe, you think?
Oh, great. All right. I thought this was for everybody, but so and this is a completely binary situation. It's like I either get my butt fucked or I become a Nazi.
Well, no, I said join Nazis. So it's like, because Drew was saying, it's like, oh,
you could pretend.
Well, his brother was like, you believe that guy still wants to do that or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could just be a prison Nazi. It's like how sometimes people are like, it ain't gay if you're underway, right?
Navy.
In the Navy, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's okay to be gay in that situation. Maybe it's like, you in your head, you'd be like, well, I was just a prison Nazi to keep my butt unfucked. I'm not a real Nazi.
All right. And in this situation, I can't, there's no other gangs that'll have me. Like, it's,
I don't think so.
All right.
What
Yeah,
a fucking
100%.
quarter response. You sure I
100%
can't
not
get in
to-
with the Mexicans, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
if you were in on the outside, you'd be able to do that. Like if you came in, Vice Lorded up or whatever, MS-13, and your nickname was White Boy. But no, I don't think you could just join.
I'll say this. I think I'd like to believe that I'd probably grunt through a couple butt fucks before making my allegiance known to the Nazi party. You know what I mean? I'll be like, let's see how. But I do think after a while, it'd get to me. And also, honestly, after that happened to me several times, I might just legit want to be a Nazi. You know what I mean?
You were going to say,
what if it was the whites doing it?
No.
I thought that's what you're like. After it had to happen to me a couple times, I might just be all right with that. I might just want to
there's
keep
that
rolling.
too.
Yeah,
like
I've made be the whites doing it as much. Like, and also, no, it wouldn't. That's not how it works. But let me say this too, because I want to like elucidate a little bit here. What I think you would do, knowing you, and most people would do, is just like be a part of it, kinda, in order to get by. You don't have to get the tattoos,
right,
to like play for the team. You got to get the tattoos to be a captain and the starting quarterback.
Yeah, and I ain't trying to do that.
And that's where my brother, like, that's where I don't have a lot of sympathy for him.
Yeah, I just want to be a
like, you didn't do this to protect yourself. You did this to protect yourself after you put yourself in danger because you wanted to be the man.
Right. See, I just want to be a regular 9-to-5 Nazi riding a desk. Like, I'm not trying to be no fucking team leader. I'm not trying to get overtime pay. You know what I mean? I just want to be employee Nazi of the month. Not me. Never.
You're just responsible for all the N-word jokes and at the.
I could bring that to the table. I could be the jester for the Nazis. That'd be amazing. I'd be so good at that. I got all of them on lock. I mean, I know they're horrible.
Isolate that.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, dude,
and it's probably different in every situation. But the other thing you got to realize too, I mean, look, they're not Nazi. Like they do the swastika thing. It's strange. Aryans
dress good.
One. Well, Aryans are the number one, whatever, as far as I know, in there. But it is odd because like a lot of like there'll be more than one black gang, and if a race riot pops off, they will fight together. But otherwise, they're competing.
Right. Like Crips and
My
Bloods. Like
understanding is that's rare for the whites, and then those whites in there who have a lot of white pride claim it's like, yeah, that's proof we're better than them. And then other people point out, well, yeah, there's 18 of you. You have to come together. Like, there's literally no other way you could survive in here.
right.
So it's just honestly, here's the thing that was funny. There's a guy who he served with who is out and has a podcast and has been on 85 South. I don't know who this guy is because I've never heard of this or whatever, but he was asking me about that. He was like, hey, it's got to like be weird sometimes to put yourself out there and like be a public figure and blah, blah, blah. But like, is it worth it or whatever? And I'm like, are you thinking about doing a YouTube? He goes, I don't know. He's like, I know that guy lies all the time and gets away with it. And he said, and I also know that he does stuff that I was naive about. Like, that was a very interesting conversation. He was like, some of the stuff this dude says, I really thought, you know, the guy's dad is still in prison. He's like, I would have
locked up with Charleston White.
I don't think Charleston White was in Tennessee, but
that would have been.
But he said, like, I would have thought this guy's. This is a white guy.
Oh,
okay.
He said, I would have thought. Okay. He said, I would have thought this guy's dad would have got hurt.
Right, because of the shit he's talking.
If he was out here doing all this. He goes, I guess I was naive. And I was like, that makes sense to me, Dustin, like as somebody who's been involved in the justice system, but very differently from you, because while you're in there, everything's important, everything's right there. But like, yeah, dude, they may threaten you, like you get out. They don't, why would they care? It ain't affecting them.
Right.
So yeah, I might try to make
who this fucking guy is now.
I don't think he's gonna want to do that.
Yeah. That'd be a hell of a thing if fucking Poop just started hitting harder than us on YouTube.
Man. I mean, good, you know, good for him. But
hell yeah, I'd be all for it. I wouldn't be mad.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be a little bit.
It hurt.
Yeah, right.
It would hurt, but I'd still be happy for it.
Yeah.
I told him how to do it. I was like, this dude's been big enough to go on 85 South, and he's like, yeah. I go, well, the first thing you do is start talking shit on him. You start pointing out everything he lied about and calling him a narc. I was like, controversy is the way forward. And
now that's 100% true. But shit, now I'm fucking welcome back to Poop's Corner.
Shooting the poop. But
the poop shoot.
The poop shoot.
The poop shoot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The poop shoot.
Good. That's actually pretty good. The poop shoot. SHOOT. The poop shoot. That ain't bad. Hell, now I think you should start it. But like prison content definitely would hit for people. Hell, I'd watch it. I don't, you know,
me
too. Like that. And I'm sure there's plenty of it that already exists, but who gives a fuck? Everybody, there's tons of all kinds of
nothing
everything.
New under the sun.
Right. And anything you can name that hits on the internet, there's already a million different versions of it anyway. So, but you know, like that, you know, like that fucking ex-gangster guy, like Italian mafia guy who's always like
Sammy the Bull.
No, Michael Franziano or whatever.
Well, Michael Franziano. Well, yeah, again, there's several of them.
Right.
But yeah.
And it's always like,
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? He talks about what mafia life was like, and that dude,
even though he's a rat,
right? Yeah, exactly. But like, you just do that, but with prison shit.
Yeah,
he's doing a prison cooking show.
Point sort of is he's like most of the interesting stuff. You kind of have to break the code to do it,
right?
And he's like, and I just didn't think you could get away with that for very long.
Right.
But this is not why I'm like. This is a microcosm. This is an example. There have been many instances, I think, of this type of thing. This is a perfect example of whatever it is about me, like holding me back. I absolutely had the thought, dude, I know how to do all this. We can have a fucking podcast in 2 weeks with graphics, a platform. Like, I know how to do the hash. Like, we could start. And I just thought, I just don't want to do that. That's what I
Yeah.
end up doing. Like, that's what breaks me through is I'm just sitting here listening to my brother talk about butt fucking vice lords. Like, that's a lot.
I mean, I'm ready to click. I'll tell you that much right now. But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
hear
but
you.
so are his sons and daughters.
No,
You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying?
I'm just making a joke. I completely agree with you 100%. But because yeah, we all have a tendency to attempt to monetize things that we probably oughtn't. But
Well,
you
it was
know,
his idea.
yeah, right. If he wants to do the poop shoot, you know.
Not just monetized, but like also like comedically. It's
Yeah, yeah.
like, man, this like I could see objectively how funny this would be to someone who isn't me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, you know, you can make like a documentary or something. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Make it serious. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's always worked for me.
Yeah, but it could.
Inconvenient poop.
Yeah, either way you want to go. Got the
I'm
title covered.
nostalgic about any jokes related to that.
Sorry. Oh God.
Well, what else
Well, we're
is
full of it
going
today, ain't
on?
we?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. There's all. By the way, did y'all see that 50 Cent? 50 Cent has reached out to Trump, or he's attempting to reach out to Trump because he heard that Trump was thinking about pardoning P Diddy, and 50 Cent's doing everything he can to make sure that shit don't happen.
Yeah.
And I believe he'll be successful because Trump just wants to be liked.
Yeah.
And if he finds out cool black people don't want him to do that,
Yeah.
then he won't do it. Unless for money.
Yeah, somebody made the point because somebody had just asked him about Diddy or whatever, and he's like, yeah, you know, we might could do a pardon or whatever. And they're like, Trump is the type of dude's like, literally, you can ask him fucking anything. It could be made up shit,
Right.
and he will answer back with like, we're having people look into it. Like that's his blanket answer to everything.
That was Mark. Mark said that.
It was Mark, wasn't it? Yeah. It is so true. It's so fucking true. Like everything, he could never say the words, I don't know what you're talking about, or what is that? Like, he just has to be like, yeah, you know, we're looking into it. A lot of people are talking about it. It's fucking nuts. I would like to see how his people handled it if he did float, you know, if he tried to pardon P. Diddy, because, I mean, you know, they're supposed to be the ones defending children against the perversions of the world.
And I think they'd just be like, yeah, we did it. It's for us. Go fuck yourself. Essentially, on White House stationery, like the official statement from the White House would basically say that. That's what I think. I don't know why they'd switch it up in any real way at this point. You know.
Yeah, I haven't. It's funny. Like, we have more. Like, this Diddy trial is not. It's obviously big. It's obviously a big deal and big thing, but I hadn't really heard. I mean, I've seen some transcripts or whatever, but it hasn't really popped off OJ style, even though now. But it's funny because we are like now we have more access to it than ever, and it's just like I guess the world's so fucking crazy, and we have access to literally everything that the P Diddy thing just sort of fits in there.
That
Whereas
hasn't
back
really
when
happened yet either, right?
Yeah.
Oh, has it not?
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I thought it was going on. I thought there was talk about Kid Cudi was going to testify like a week or two ago.
Somebody called him a like fucking young thug or whatever, like was
Called him a
online
narc
calling him a
and shit.
snitch or whatever, and everybody was
Which
like,
is so
motherfucker,
stupid.
he's a goddamn pedophile. Like, fuck
It's
you.
also, it's not even just that. It's like, it's not like they were in league together and Cudi is rolling over on him to save his own ass. Like, Diddy literally tried to explode him. Like, that's not snitching to me. That's not the same thing. That's not ratting. It's just like,
I'm with Bernie Mac
we're
on
in
snitching.
preliminary stuff, but I could be wrong. I'm about to look into it.
Well, maybe you're right. But Corey, also, I think another element of that is like, you know, and I'm not saying this is wrong. I get it. Like, murder just kind of hits for people, sort of.
Love it. They love it.
Right? Whereas like rape and especially pederasty is like, you know,
it's not as sexy.
Not even close. It's, you know, that's gross and upsetting, but murder's like salacious and fun, which is
because
truly insane. Because
Well, no. I get it.
Right here,
but I get it though.
A quick update, like right here, 9 minutes ago on CNN, the exhibits admitted into evidence during Jane's testimony will not be shown on the video feeds for the public. That is a preliminary decision, I think.
Okay. Well, for the record, I think I understand why. It's because there's literally
Oceans and lemonade, those are called, I believe, but it's been a while. Sorry,
there's
go ahead.
never an excuse for sexually assaulting or pedophile stuff, but murder, I kind of want to hear both sides. You know what I mean? Like it is. There have been justifiable murders. There's never been justifiable rape. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, well, no. I mean, I don't know. The justifiable like people are obsessed with
self-defense
people
or
are
somebody
obsessed
talk
with
shit.
serial killers, though, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Like
You're right.
people
You're right.
that are not. It's not at all. It ain't
No,
even
no, no.
remotely
I know.
justifiable. In fact, it seems like the sicker the better for a lot of people. They just love that shit. I don't know.
No, but it's not even just
White
that. It's like
women
I've always
especially love that shit.
No, you're right, but I'm just saying murder in general. Like you can openly talk about murder and nobody gets upset, but if you were openly talking about a rape, somebody would be like, "Oh Jesus Christ,
For
man!"
sure,
Not
but
that.
don't you think that's a little weird?
Not really,
Why?
because again,
that. Like
no,
I know
again
that
though, but
is the way it is. I'm
every
just saying-
murder ain't been bad. Every rape has been. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
but still, but that context is not applied to the specifics of the.
For the record, most of the time I've been on with you, I've been like, what's the difference? Like, we're talking about murder. That's even more grisly. But I'm starting to just think about it. It's like there's victims of rape still walking around that can hear that. There's no victims of murder walking around that can hear that because they'd be dead. You know what I mean?
They do be dead.
I guess
that's
their
true.
families, but yeah.
Yeah, their family, sure.
Well, their families are also victims.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, some people that have got, but that's not the case for, like,
but okay, a specific, like, one-to-one thing, though. Like, if there's, like, a serial rapist, right, you wouldn't, I don't know, maybe you would. Hell, no, I guess you would. Because, I mean, there's probably been, I'm certain people have done podcasts, true crime style stuff about, like, fucking, what's his name? Jim will fix it. Jim Seville.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sandusky has had documentaries and stuff. So, like, you know, that's not really true. But people don't get, I don't know, they don't treat those the same. Those like, if there's a documentary, true crime thing about that type of shit, it's like treated with like kid gloves or whatever.
Yeah.
But if there's, no pun intended, but if there's a documentary about like a motherfucker that like chops off teenagers' wieners and then fucks their corpse after eating it and all that shit.
Going full throat.
People are just like,
ooh, here we
so
go.
Good.
It's like, well, like,
shit. It's like that's fucking weird.
All right, I hear you, but like, okay, so
weird.
like, imagine it's date night, right? And you're like, hey, let's go to the murder mystery show. Oh yeah, that sounds good. But imagine if you're like, let's go to the rape mystery show.
I know,
like we have to solve a rape. That sounds worse.
I know, but I'm saying it's
weird that it does sound worse.
The attitude is not just applied to fun fake murder mysteries. It's also applied to Jeffrey Dahmer, who was real.
Right. By the way,
what makes it weird. Like that.
Just so you. Yeah,
well,
just so you know, this
what like here's the point that could bring you guys together. Truly, maybe it's not fun to go to a murder mystery show. Maybe that's not fun.
I watched a murder mystery last night.
I don't know. They do.
If it is universally fun, we got to ask ourselves why. And I think the comp here, Trey, that does exist is like rape kink stuff. Like a lot of women. And I do think, and honestly, I think the reason there's not a rape kink podcast is because of shame. It's not because there's not an audience for it.
Well, also, there wouldn't be a rape mystery because she could just go, that was him.
Yeah, I was going to say that,
you
too.
know what I mean?
Rape mystery party wouldn't work.
He's a black guy every time.
Unless he's in a,
so
unless he's in a
mystery, brother. DNA has
many, mystery.
There's a man
that really happen, or is this lying? I'm just kidding.
There's a man and a woman who toured the country together, and she picked him out of a lineup, and she was like, I was certain it was him, and they dive into how the cops made her believe that. So, like, she was a double victim of another guy who got DNA. They found out it was him. And then he was a victim, and then she was also a victim of the cops basically abusing her psychologically to get her to say it was this guy. I mean, anyway, whatever.
Is that a different duo that tours from? Well, isn't there also a duo that tours where it's like a guy who
He did do it.
He tours with the woman who he sexually assaulted, and they have like a
that's
show
crazy.
about it. Okay.
Yes.
What?
That's nuts.
Yeah, well, Drew's the one who told me that like years ago,
What?
so I don't. But
How does that
Found him on
guy?
the internet.
wonder what their closer
wild?
is. You know, they have musical numbers or what? Like fucking
Just Heartbreak Kids scissor kicks her through the wall.
who
Jesus
buys tickets
Christ.
to something like that? Because I'm assuming
I don't know.
I'm assuming the
Maybe other
angle is
victims.
like try to right. I'm sure it's very very serious.
He
and
ought not
everything,
get
right?
paid though.
Right.
He ought not get
But
paid.
it's like a reform Nazi type of thing. But for
Yeah,
that,
all the rage.
I'm assuming. But that's wild.
But they don't. But the reform Nazi don't like, go on tour with the victims of the family of the dad he curb stomped for being a Jew. I don't think like they just go on Ricky Lake and they're like,
Well, in Japan, and I mean, look, it's Japan.
Yeah,
What are
about
you
to say,
gonna do?
boy.
But there was a serial killer in Japan who went to prison, got out, and then became like a star, like a TV star. He wasn't like
that makes sense.
He wasn't like a
you got to do
sitcom-
the same things.
He wasn't like a sitcom actor or nothing, but he would like, I don't know if he hosted things. He would like go on their version of the Tonight Show and that type of shit like frequently, and was like a tabloid fixture. And he's got there and do panel and shit as a, welcome renowned serial murderer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally. So
Here we go. Independent Herald. I don't know. Here's a story about him. A rape survivor has teamed up with her attacker to talk about the assault. Fortis, Elva, and Tom Stranger said they had been in a brief relationship as teenagers before he raped her one night in her home in 1996. Here's the reasoning, according to them. They said they were speaking out in the hope of reducing the shame associated with being a victim of rape and to promote a discussion about the motivations of the people, usually men, who carry out sexual assaults in order to better understand and combat the problem. They did a TED Talk. That's what it was.
God damn.
please welcome to the stage my rapist, everybody. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He does the Conan string hip thing. Right?
Oh, fuck. This episode is not getting monetized, and I'm sorry to everyone for everything we've done.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Might as well get out of here on that, I guess.
Might as well get out of here. Hey, go to CoreyRyanForster.com. Grab tickets to see me. I'll be in Sunnyvale, California, June 19th through the 22nd. Fort Worth, Texas, June 26th. Lexington, Kentucky, August 14th. And Charlottesville, Virginia, August 15th. WeLoveCorey.com for bonus stuff. Trey.
Go to TreyCrowder.com. Check out my upcoming tour dates. Kind of bit of time off in June, but I still have some shows. 2 in the New York City area. 3. 2 in Manhattan and 1 in the suburbs in Stamford, Connecticut next week in June 11th and 15th. And then June 28th, I'm in wine country in Napa, California. And then in July, heating back up again, Tulsa, La Jolla, a run through the Midwest, Omaha, Des Moines, Kansas City, and a whole bunch of other places in the near future at TreyCrowder.com, where you can also find a link to my most recent special, Trash Daddy, on YouTube. So check that out too. TreyCrowder.com. Thank you.
I'm about to announce Knoxville. It's going to be July 25th at the Barrel House. That's an awesome stage. If you guys are in Knoxville and you haven't seen it, Barrel House is new and it rules. I don't have a link yet, but I will next week, I expect. That's the only show I'm doing till, I think, August. So I'm off for a bit, hanging out with my boy.
Thank
Listen
you
to
all
Gravy,
for listening.
baby.
Listen to Gravy Baby and Weekly Skews and putting on airs. Thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew. Fart. Art.
Putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. We collected from our love of Downton Abbey. We collected, we found out we're both so fancy. Hey, what's the difference between rednecks and royal families? Only money, cause they both have sex with family. Ew. Putting on airs. What other together, rednecks to talk about foreign affairs. Laughing so hard that we end up falling out our chairs. Sir Trey, Sir Corey, oh what a pair. High class topics with a redneck flair. Oh yeah. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Okay, it's Team Squirrel up Team Trey. Oh yeah, we keeping it basic. He thinks that the squirrels at Corey's mom's house are racist. And you know squirrels live in the same place for generations. So Trey, you better count your days and you better count your blessings. Cause all the squirrels that you ran over, that you think are nameless, faceless, their families are getting together and plotting on you from the attic and basement. So even though Corey is dumb, fat, and bald, he knows how to avoid drama, don't get squirrels involved. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs.